Hi, thank you for coming to StarNet Studios. I appreciate your time and spending your day with us. Today, I am talking to writer, director, actress, and producer, Miss Patricia Mizen. How are you today, Miss Patricia?
I'm doing fantastic, Andre. Thank you for having me. This is pretty exciting, pretty cool. This whole virtual world, I love it.
It is okay, and I'm excited too. So, speaking of the virtual world that we live in, at the time of this discussion, the pandemic is still currently going on, but we are at a different place than we were, say, a year ago. So, since we're talking about a virtual world, tell me about what that's been like as far as your recent shooting and things like that.
All right. Well, let's see. Last year in 2020, after coming back from New York, doing I say a rescue mission for help, bringing my aunt from New York. I moved her during the pandemic, believe it or not. It was a miracle that that happened, but I got it done. So she's in California. Anyway, after quarantining and all of this stuff, my manager sent me an audition. I recorded it, and I ended up booking it. And the beautiful thing about it is it was all done virtually.
Mm.
We were doing it. The director, Sarah Caldwell, she set it up to where I would be in my live. We're doing the Zoom, and my character is basically, a CEO of a company, and we did. It was all shot via Zoom, and it's really making some big waves at the film festivals. So that was like a beautiful outlet for me after what I had went through during the pandemic in the beginning, to come back and be able to express myself in the arts, even though it was via Zoom. I mean, I'm digging Zoom actually. I take classes via Zoom, and I audition via Zoom. And I feel like as long as you and I are looking at each other, we're connecting, I'm feeling I you still can feel a vibe
Yes.
through the screen. I mean, it's just like watching a movie or a television show, really. You can feel it. So I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's the world that
Yeah.
we live in right now, and you mentioned film festivals a moment ago, and we'll circle back to that in a moment because you spent time on things like NCIS and The Bold and the Beautiful. You have those kind of credits. You were in The Little Things, a great film with Denzel Washington and Jared Leto and some other great performers. So, but as far as your own things, going back to the film festivals, you had some time in Fly Right, which has some really significant film festival recognitions. That's one of your closer pieces that you worked on yourself. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about Fly Right there?
Yes. So, thank you, yeah, for bringing that up. Fly Right it's very special to me, actually. It's something that yes, I wrote. The first thing that I wrote, Blank, was more of an experimental thing for me that I wanted to dive into. But Fly Right was something that the idea came to me when I was at UCLA, in the master's program, which is a great program. Putting in some little plugs: UCLA, professional program for acting, the best. Anyway, um, so there was a master's class there, and they stressed creating your own content, getting some ideas, pitching, and we were really honing in on that whole aspect of the industry. And so we had to come up with an idea and a pitch, and I did, and I had this little idea. And I kept it with me. And then, it was kind of dry over the summer in 2019. And, as an actor, as creators, as artists, we got to be working on something. I feel like for me, I have to be working on something. It's just, I have to sink my teeth into something. So I said to myself, I want a challenge. I want a challenge, right? And AT&T Create-a-thon
Mm.
kept showing up into my world, and I went to some of their events and so forth, and they had this opportunity for artists to create their own content, work with people all over the world, and have it put forth into a competition. So I was like, all right, we have how many days or how many weeks to do this? I want to do it. I want this challenge. And so a friend of mine, a producer friend, I reached out to him like, hey, David, you want to do this with me? He was like, yeah, let's do it. So we went downtown, we signed up, we did the whole nine. We had a list of creators as well. And, you contact those people and see if you want to, join the team. And I started writing. I wrote the short film. I didn't sleep, of course. Why sleep? I got to get this done, and I wanted to do something with special effects. And, the world and God and the universe will definitely hear your desires, because believe it or not, it was like I got an email from a gentleman who was like, hey, if you ever need some VFX work, let me know. And I was like, how did he know that I'm looking for a VX person? So he joined the team, and we shot it over the weekend, and we actually won first place. So, and very happy about that.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah. And thank you. And then from there, we started to enter it into different festivals, and it did win some accolades. And it was actually at the Lamel Theater in Burbank for a whole week at a big theater. It got distribution. And so I was like, it was so much fun just to, to dive into something and that I never done before, so to speak, under time constraints. But I learned that having a great team and being able to communicate with them respectfully and in a loving way, and also having people to receive it in a loving, working way, and not they just wanted to help and they wanted to do, and we wanted to create something, and there was no power struggle, because sometimes working with people can be like a power struggle. There was none of that. It was beautiful, and everything fell into place, and I'm very grateful for it. Yeah, very grateful.
All right. And you know what? When I was looking at
Yeah.
some of your work that you've done, some of your videos, one that jumped out at me was one in which you had a confrontation with your character anyway, had a confrontation with a bounty hunter. And when the bounty hunter came to come see you, and you dealt with the bounty hunter, I don't want to ruin too much about it, but you had some moves there. So I just want to ask you. So with what I saw there and a couple other pieces that I've done, did you study martial arts for your acting, or is that something that's been interesting to you for a long time, or that's something that you've been doing, or?
Okay. Yes. Well, let's see. So I was born in Okinawa, Japan. So I'm Asian American. My father is Finnish and English. Growing up with the Asian culture, you're growing up with Bruce Lee. That's it, right? For me and my family, my brother can vouch for that. I mean, my brother's 18 months older than I am. So, whatever he watched, I was like right there next to him, and he was watching Bruce Lee movies, all those fighting movies and so forth. And of course, he took taekwondo, and I had to go and take taekwondo too, And so my training started at a very young age, 6 years old. I took taekwondo, and I mean, I know how to throw somebody over. And my father, being in the special forces, he's like, oh yeah, you need to learn how to fight. As a woman, you need to learn how. As a girl, you got to know how to fight. And fighting with my brother. So I think that it was already, the footsteps were already there when I was at a young age. And then I had the Asian culture and all the martial arts there as well. So yes, I kept it up. I learned some karate, and discipline, and and I became a certified kickboxer, a teacher actually, and I did that for years to earn extra income. So I just love the physicality of it. I love, the chi of it, the grace
Mhm.
of it also because it's very it's a stress reliever, to take a
Right.
punching bag and just, go at it. Um, it's part of my life. This is, martial arts is part of me.
Mhm.
It's who I am as well. The form of discipline and also protection, and it's like, um, when I was in New York, walking the street, not walking the streets as like a, sometimes I say things that are really funny to me. But when I was walking the streets by myself
Mhm.
during broad daylight, from one apartment to the next, because I was moving my aunt, you know, I wasn't aware of different areas that I was in because I didn't really live there, So I was kind of like, when you're trained as a martial artist, you have to use your senses. That's one thing that they teach you. You use your senses. You use, your peripherals. You have to listen, especially as for a female alone. And so the training kicked in, and I was, able to just kind of be aware. And I think we all should always be aware. Um, and so that's just an automatic for me. So yeah, no. To answer your question, it started at a very young age.
Okay. Okay, and you're certainly not alone being a Bruce Lee fan. I can tell you that. So yeah, it's great inspiration to many, many people around the world. So let me ask you this: whether it be martial arts roles or comedy or drama or sci-fi or anything else, what do you think is next for you as far as your future roles or things that you're going to have coming up?
Well, gosh. Uh, that remains to be unfolded and to be seen. I'm open to all different types of characters and personalities that's written on the page by the writer. And, um, I'm grateful for my manager and agent, my reps who are, working hard to get me auditions. And there is something that's brewing in the works. My partner, she's a writing, she's also an actor. We wrote a pilot actually, and we both wrote wrote ourselves in this pilot to showcase, some of the things that we can do. Um, and it's kind of hitting all aspects of the characters that we could play. So it's called The Encounter. So right now we're getting a package ready. We finished the teaser, and we'll probably end up doing a short, like a prequel to it, and then shoot that, put it in some festivals, maybe pitch it to some producers to see if we
Okay.
can get the series created.
Okay. Well, that sounds great.
So
So let me
yeah.
ask you, where would one go to take a look if they wanted to learn more about the encounter or any other work that you have going on, past, present, or potential future? Where would one go to take a look at that?
So the encounter is still in its pre-development stage. So there's not really quite a place you can see that yet. There is an Instagram page that was just created, the Encounter series. You can type that in and see a couple of posts. But my IMDb page, my website, Patricia Mizen, my Instagram page, Patricia Mizen Official. I keep updates there as well, especially my website. But yeah, you'll be seeing more stuff on the Encounter as the days go by. Yeah,
Okay. And
so
that's
definitely.
patriciamason.com, correct?
Yes, yes, that's my website. The Instagram page is Patricia
Mhm.
Mizen Official. So
Okay. Sounds great. All right. Well, we look forward to seeing the encounter or anything else that you have going on. And I want to say thank you for your time. I very much appreciated you coming by, and we'll keep an eye out for what's next.
thank you, Andre. Thank you for having me.